Alright, I'm making a pumpkin to go on my rusty bed spring, and I had this bowl sitting here, and I think that's the size pumpkin I need. So I just I doubled my material. This is just muslin. I made some of these probably 2 videos back or so, but I've just traced around this bowl because it was sitting here, and I think that's the size I need. I'm going to pin this, and then I'm going to go into my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew around the edge of this. I'm not going to leave an opening for stuffing, because when I get finished, I'll cut a little slit here and stuff it on the underneath. As you can see, I just followed my line, my circle line, and went around that. Now I'm going to trim it out around there, not going too close to the stitches. And when I get that trimmed out, I'll go ahead and show you what I'm going to do. Just in the middle. I'm going to go there. And I'm going to make an opening enough to where I can stuff it, turn it inside out, and stuff it with polyfill. Now, I have stuffed it, and I am just going to stitch it closed, the slit that I made, and nobody's going to see this because it's going to be on the bottom. So if you're messy at it, that's fine, because I am too. But I'll continue this till it's all closed up. Now, I want to make the indentions of my pumpkin, so I took, you want a heavy-duty thread, or this here is called bedspread. Yeah, it's called bedspread thread. It's still on the inside. I got this at the thrift store. But that's what it's called. It's a little more heavy duty. And I pulled off about 1.5 yards of thread, and hoping that's enough. And I knotted it on the end. And then I've made a mark up here on the top where my center is. And the first thing I'm going to do is try to find the center here and feed that up through to that center. Pull that through. Then I'm going to come back down underneath there in the same spot. Come back up in the same spot in the center. And pull it pretty taut. I'm going to kind of hold it. I'm going to bring that back over. Go back up through the same spot. I'm going to pull that. Hang on to it. Now I'm going to go back this way. As you can see, I have a bigger needle, a longer needle. Uh-oh, what's going on back here? Oh, great, there's a knot. Okay, let me get this knot out. Okay, I had to cut it off. Now I hope I have enough thread. If I don't, I'll just have to tie it off and start again. Okay, I'm going to pull that there. Pull it taut. And now I'm just going to start there, come up through the middle, bring it that way, come up through the middle, and just make my indentions for my pumpkin. Okay, I've got it finished, and I got down to the last part that goes that way and ran out of thread because of having that knot in there. So I had to thread my needle again and come up through there and make the last stitch. Otherwise, that 1.5 yards would have been perfect. And I forgot to tell you, the bow I used was 6 inches, so my circle was a 6-inch circle. I mean, you don't have to have a bow. You can cut a 6-inch circle. But I am going to, I had to water this paint down. Yeah, pretty sure I'm going to need more than that. This is spiced pumpkin. And I hope if I run out, I have another bottle. But I think I should have enough. I'm going to paint my pumpkin, the spiced pumpkin. I wanted to, well, it's all right. This is watered down. I was going to say I wanted to spray my material, but it's watered down. It's spreading pretty easily. If your paint's a little thicker, spray a little water on your material, and it makes it spread really easy. And we get in the crevices real good, and around the seam. But I'm going to paint the whole pumpkin. And then I'm probably going to put some of my grunge mixture. That's just some instant coffee. And water. And you can put some cinnamon in it if you want it. Mine does have cinnamon in it because it's already mixed up that way. But I'll do that after this dries. I have the whole pumpkin painted and it's dry. I'll put the grunge mixture on the pumpkin. My pumpkin is dry, and I did take my finger sander and kind of sanded it a bit. And now I am going to put my grunge mixture. This is coffee, water, and cinnamon. The cinnamon is all sunk to the bottom. But I'm going to leave it there. The smell's still real good. And I'll just finish grunging this, and then I'm going to have to let it dry before I can start putting it all together. Okay, here's what I'm doing with my pumpkin. I'm putting it on a rusty bed spring. And I took some moss and kind of, worked it around. And I decided, instead of losing a lot of that stuff and being messy, I used some of this Loctite spray adhesive. I sprayed it on one side and then the other side, and I've let it dry good. And now I'm going to take my pumpkin and I have a real pumpkin stem here from one of my little pumpkins last year. And I think I took a little bit of moss and kind of rolled it around. I think I'm going to put that right there. So I'll hot glue it down first. I kind of left the center open. Now I need a glue stick. I'm going to put the stem in the middle. And I'm going to have to hold it for a little bit. Now it's dry, and I'm going to take it and put it on there. By the time you get one of those glue sticks in there where it's feeding right, you're out of glue stick. Okay. So I'm going to see the way I want it to sit. I think like that. Because I want to be able to see the stem. I'm going to have to glue some of this moss up on that because it's all falling down. But I am going to go around and do that. And then I've got some things pulled out here. I have some grapevine, part of a grapevine wreath, and some berries and some leaves. And I'm going to start going around and decorating it some. But I put stuff in, pull it out. It takes me a while. And you'd be here a long time watching me get this all fixed up. But this is mainly, right here is mainly the stuff that I'm going to use. Just be tucking it in different places. And I'm not sure if I'll use this. I'm not sure what I'll use because I'll be tucking and pulling. But I'm going to go around and kind of pull the Spanish moss up here and there. And decorating up the... Oh, and I need a tag. I'm pretty sure I'll want a tag. I'm going to have to make a tag. And as I go along, I'll stop in and show you what I'm doing. Well, I got to tucking and poking all this stuff in there, and I forgot to turn my camera back on. But this is all I had left in that pile. I did use some of the grapevine, the leaves, and the pip berries, and different things. And I've still got to find a tag and put on it. But when I'm finished, I will take a picture, and you'll see it just here in a little bit. But I wanted to... tell y'all about a channel that popped up on my feed. I'm always searching, primitive decorating, primitive crafts. There's not a lot out there. And this one lady, she happened to come up in my feed, and I clicked into her, and I liked that video, so I watched a few more, and I think you all would enjoy her. She does primitive decorating. She does garage sales, thrift shopping, just different things like I like, and I think you all will enjoy her too, because I wouldn't send you to a channel that I don't think you would like. I mean, if primitive's your thing, even just everyday stuff, I'm pretty sure she has that on there too. I never caught her name, and I'm going to have to find out her name, but I didn't catch it. But the name of her channel is the Faithful Decorator, and I'll leave her link down below. And she has 529 subscribers. I think she's good enough that she needs way more than that. But if you will, go check her out, and if you like it, subscribe to her. All right, guys, I'm going to finish this one up and get to my next craft. In the garage again, and I got me a piece of board that was an old shelf one time, and I made a pattern because I've been seeing these half pumpkins on Pinterest and different places, and I've been wanting one since last year to put above my cabinet, right above where my sink's at. So I made me a pattern, and I have traced it off, and I'm going to cut it out with my scroll saw. Now I am going to take this, and I have some Waverly brown wax with some black paint added to it. So when I want something a little darker, I'll have it. I am going to put a coat all over this pumpkin. Here I've been testing colors for my pumpkin. I am going to coat this good, and then I'll let it dry, and then I'll come back and paint my pumpkin. All right, my pumpkin is dry now, And I'm going to paint it this, it's called Red Spice. And I decided it needed a crow up here. So I went into Silhouette software and had one of my crows. And I fixed the bottom of him so he fits pretty well. Can y'all see that? Out of frame. He fits pretty well on the pumpkin. And I cut that from, I did cut this with my laser, but I would have, if I didn't have a laser, I would have cut it with my scroll saw. I cut it out of a 1/4 inch wood. I had some 1/2 inch wood in the garage. Probably should have went out and used it and cut it out with my scroll saw. But anyways, I'll just paint this one, this crow, flat black. And I think what I'll do is maybe put a little thin, like a dowel rod, just a thin one, and drill a hole here. And, you know, I'll show you when I get to it. So he'll stay on there. And if I can get it to fit well enough, maybe I won't have to glue it and I can take it in and out. You know, like after fall, storage, take it off. But anyways, that's later on down the road a little bit. Because this should be a pretty simple project. So far it has been. And I'm just going to start painting this. Looks like I'm going to have to give it 2 coats. I'm just going to paint the front. I'm not going over the edges. And I'll give it 2 coats and make sure it is where the color, you know, as dark as I want it. And all filled in like I want it. And then I'll probably distress it. Now I am using the Fusion Clear Wax and going over, sealing the paint. And then I have my Jolie brown that I'll probably go around the edges with, in it a little bit. Now I'm going to put some Jolie brown wax on it. Especially around the edges. I'll wipe that back if I need to, which I will. All right. And this is my crow, and I did put some clear wax on him. Go around the edges, get that wood where I distressed it, turn it brown. I'll wipe it back. And I did get my stick. I drilled this hole here. And it goes in really, really snug. I thought it went in further than that. Yeah. It goes in that far. But it comes out too. You got to pull. So I've got it marked. I'll go up to that black. And I am going to put some wood glue and hot glue for wood glue for permanent hold and hot glue for a temporary hold. So I can put that in there. And it'll be on there like that. And I don't know if I'm going to do anything else to it or not. I'm just going to have to sit and look at it. Okay, this is what I'm trying to figure out what to do. This is that Hello Fall I put on, oh, what was it? I put on something, I think last week. So I cut one out a little bit bigger. And instead of just putting the hello straight, I kind of had it follow that. But it needs something right here. I've done that up. I don't know. Kind of sticks down into my fall. I guess that's okay. You can still read it. I was trying to do something up with a jute. Anyways, and then I got this out to make a tendril. I made 2 tendrils, but 2 of them definitely look stupid hanging off like that, I think. So I think if I use any, I'll just use one coming up. This I like. I'm going to paint my Hello Fall black. I just got to figure out what I can do there. Maybe if I just took some of this and wrapped it a little bit around that, and then just took my bow and put on that. I don't know. I'm going to keep fiddling with it. I got this ready. I've just got that down in there. I need to glue that on because that is ready. But as soon as I get this figured out and this painted and that bird on, it'll be finished. Okay, I chunked the idea of the raffia and the Spanish moss and all that, and I just made me a little tiny bow using some of the colors, the black, the orange, and I've had to put some little pop of cream in there. So I will just glue that down to that, and I chunked putting the letters following that. It looked cute, but this is going to go up above my sink, and there is a little bit of a rim, and I wanted more of this to show than it would have been if I'd angled it. So that's why I went straight here and stretched it out a little bit. So now all I have to do is glue this on and my crow, and it'll be finished.